Tell me something. How do you feel about budgets? Do they excite you? Do they give you the cringe? Or is it something that you don't even think about because you don't find it necessary? Because you think it's unrealistic? Well, welcome to the Tax Fix. My name is Patricia Komani, and today we will be talking about just that, the budget for small businesses. But then again, the principles of a budget can be applied even in your personal life. So take whatever you need to apply for your personal life and for your business. Before we start, please do share this video with your family and friends, business owners, those who are managing businesses and you know that they need this information. Let's get to it. First question, what is a budget? I want you to look at a budget in a different light. Think of your vision board. Why do you create a vision board? You create a vision board because you need some guide to see, to be able to visualize the goals and the visions that you have, so that when you are trying to implement them, you know exactly where you're aiming. You know exactly what the target is. Well, the budget is exactly the same. Your budget is your financial goals on paper. It is the goals that you have said, this is the total sales that I would like to make this year. And because I want to make these sales this year, these are the expenses that I know need to be incurred in order for me to meet my target, right? These are the assets that I need to buy in order for me to make those sales. Where is the funds going to come from? Will the funds come from the sales that I'm making, or do I need an additional funding from funders or from myself as a shareholder? All of those information will be on the budget. And of course, also, are you making a profit or are you making a loss? If you're making a profit, what is the estimated tax that you will have to pay at the end of the financial year, or must I say during the tax season? So your budget tells you all of that, right? The other question is, how can a small business build buffers into their budget? Well, a buffer is savings for your business, right? Savings for the rainy day. Should things not go as planned, should you not get the sales as you've planned, should you not get the funding, or should the expenses be actually higher than what you anticipated, then you need to have some savings around to help you deal in those situations. We say that it is best for a business to have savings of at least 3 to 6 months of your operational expenses. However, we do understand that it's not realistic for everybody to keep that amount all at once. So the best thing is to break it down. How do you break it down? You take the total of your operations and you save at least 10% of that on a monthly basis, or whatever percentage you are able to save, right? Until you meet the target of 3 to 6 months operational expenses of the business. The next question is, should businesses include taxes in their budget? The answer is yes. Remember that when you are making a profit, you are expected, or at least the chances are pretty high that you will pay taxes. You having taxes included in your budget, it helps you to keep that in mind, one. And two, it helps you to know how much you need to save for the taxes, so that when you are submitting your tax return during the tax season, whether it be the provisional tax returns or the income tax return, you have the funds available to make the payment, and you don't avoid submitting your tax returns, triggering into penalties, right? Let me see what other question do I have here. The next question. How often should a business update or review its budget? At least quarterly. Remember when I started and I mentioned that your budget is your financial goals on paper? Well, if you think of your goals, you usually review them, right? To see, where am I on my goals? Am I achieving my goals? Are the goals realistic or not? So same applies with your budget. You need to look at your budget on a at least on a quarterly basis, to just check to see, are you on track? If you're not on track, why are you not on track? Are you not on track because your goals were unrealistic, or something else is causing that? Do you need to make any changes on the budget or not? And the last question for the day: what is the simple habit, or what are the simple habits to make budgeting easier? Man, I would say check your bank statements on a weekly basis. Start there. Look at your bank statement on a weekly basis and actually see what you're spending your money on. Are the things that you're spending your money on the things that you had initially intended to spend on based on the budget? Are the sales that are coming in your bank account the same as you had initially planned on your budget? And if not, then ask yourself why. Are the sales low because the goals that you had on your budget were unrealistic, or are they low because you have not been doing your selling strategy properly? Are your sales low because you have not been marketing your business, right? So all of these questions then will arise when you look at your figures on your bank statement on a monthly basis, right? I would also say track your expenses regularly. So what I mean by that is, remember, other than the bank statement, you might also have other expenses that you have incurred but you have not paid yet. The expenses that you're incurring, are they necessary for your business? Let's copy a word from the government. Are your expenses wasteful expenditure or not? Right? So for you to be able to know that, you would have to check your expenses regularly, right? And if you just keep doing these two simple habits, you'll find yourself that you're getting into the hang of it. And when you're doing your review on a quarterly basis, you will find that you already have most of the answers, because you've been doing these two habits on a monthly basis, on a weekly basis. Well, friends, that's all for today. Thank you so much for joining us. Until next time, bye.